virtual activity. I guess that's one of the
biggest
major
piece.
themes. Yeah.
That really is, and whatever Ella may talk about the coronavirus and things, but the bottom line was, it was it was a very challenging situation for Ella to just be immersed in, just finding out literally days before everything started that she would have no access to the campus. That was a huge disappointment because we had really built up the anticipation of being part of the campus and having access to all the the amenities and activities and just the diversity of students that she craves. I mean, at home she'll sit on the porch and say hi to everybody that walks by, and so that's probably the good thing about the neighborhood here.
In the hood in Carbondale.
A lot of activity, a lot of people around. And she's done an incredible job of staying safe and making good choices. I really want to give her a shout out for that. And, but on the, by the same token, it's like there's a lot of things that she wasn't able to do because of that situation. So I think that underlies everything else that, she'll mention.
Which means I'm not coming back to Michigan.
Came up with the idea to do a survey and never thought that we would get the response that we got, but just thinking that we wanted to show the value of the RFL program to the Hope administrators and wanted to move forward from there.
While many school districts are still deciding if and when they'll return to in-person learning, some colleges are already doing it.
Yeah, classes in fact started today at Hope College in Holland. Our Michael Martin joins us live after speaking to the president, Michael, about why they feel this is the safer option.
COVID-19 forced Hope College to move up the start of the school year, and today students began returning to campus. 13 on your side's Emma Nicholas is live in Holland to tell us what the college is doing to keep students and staff safe.
Everybody, staff and students, had to be tested before they came back to campus. It's an effort that President Matthew Scogin says wouldn't have been possible without some massive preparations put in place by staff over the summer months.
Classes start back here on Monday. Students and staff had to take a saliva COVID-19 test to even return to campus. Several months of planning went into effect and kicked off today.
My name is Emily Pertun, and I am the Executive Director of Ready for Life. Ready for Life is a nonprofit organization that provides inclusive learning opportunities for adults with intellectual disabilities. And we have a program at Hope College and one at Calvin University, and then we're launching one at Ferris State University in the fall. We provide an opportunity for students to participate in college classes and be a college student with students who don't normally get into college. So students that would normally complete high school with a certificate of completion instead of a diploma and wouldn't be on a track to go to college. We believe that students should have an opportunity to experience college. We believe that you learn a lot more in college than just the academic component, and working toward a degree that you learn a lot about yourself, and we believe that all individuals should have that opportunity. We really want our students to connect with the typical college students, and so they spend a lot of time with mentors, which is just typical college students spending time with the Ready for Life Academy students. That can be in a social setting, that can be in a classroom setting, or it can be in a college classroom setting. And so, I'm sorry, this is not, hey, are you gonna get me? Hey, I was trying to be serious. What? I can't right now. I'm getting filmed. Leaf pile. Oh my. Well, Gus, Nico just got me. Hey, I've got to answer a few more questions. Then I can come see the leaf pile. Okay. Get the equipment. They only wait for so long. I'm passionate about the world of special education for several reasons. One, I have a degree in special education. Two, I really believe in inclusion and have seen inclusion be such a positive impact in the world. And that's what brought me to probably choose special education as a career. It's also what caused me to choose to work for Ready for Life as an organization. And then we also have a pretty intense family connection. So my husband and I have adopted two little guys with Down syndrome. We have a 12-year-old who's a middle schooler this year from South Korea, and then we also have a 9-year-old who's adopted from Hong Kong. Hey buddy, if you want to continue the leaf fight, you have to put a shirt on. Okay, so put a shirt on and we can do more leaf fight. Gussie! We're also living the life of teaching them about inclusion and teaching the world around us as we raise them to embrace them for who they are. So it kind of evolves into every aspect of our lives, which is what a good career should. It should feed into every aspect of your life, and so I'm blessed to have that in my job.
Love you.
Follow my eyes, you can sleep.
He's hypnotizing you.
Become a T-Rex.
Oh, she's going to become a T-Rex. Oh, heavens. That went up my nose.
This is Lanta the puppet, and this is Lamb the father.
They are a blast. That's never ending, though. It's never a dull moment, ever. Wouldn't change it for the world. It's amazing.
So my name is Bethany Lancaster. I am the lead instructor here at Ready for Life, and I teach the students finance and relationships and employment, all courses related to life skills.
And we just had a really good week. Would you all agree? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like you guys had a lot of energy again this week.
So Ready for Life is a transition program for adults with disabilities. They can either have a certificate of completion from high school, or they can have a diploma. And basically what it is we teach them transition skills in order to live independently in the real world. So that would be job skills, social skills, finance, any type of skills that you normally use every day that they need help learning to do.
My name is Paul Gordone, and I'm from Chelsea, Michigan.
I'm Rose, and I'm a senior, and I'm from Lowell, Michigan.
My name is Ella. I'm from Colorado, originally from the hometown of Carbondale, Colorado. And if anybody's watching from Carbondale, hi, hometown. The thing with Ready for Life is that I'm compacted with other people, so it's pretty fun to be around. And I get to experience new people really every day of my life living here. Back in Colorado, not so much. I would have to be enclosed in my house pretty much. Unless I'm going to the grocery store, then that's only the thing I can do.
I like how, you meet people from all over, and I like the college experience and just you learn to be independent, but you gain the college experience, and yeah.
Yes. Probably the first state class that we're taking right now. Yeah, because I'm good at math.
I wish I could actually see your guys' real faces.
I know.
Do you want to tell me a couple words that describe how you felt when you heard about the coronavirus?
Sad and depressed.
kind of when I first heard about it, I was kind of like, wonder what this sickness is. And then when it started to spread more, I mean, my mom's a nurse, so I know not to panic during those sort of medical things. I'm like, I mean, it's a flu. It's something that, you know what, if I get it, I'm not going to panic about it. But at the same time, part of me is like, wonder why it's so bad.
I feel very sad that this virus could take over so many different countries and within like a few weeks, a few months, a few years or whatever, in a few days. And the thing about it, when it first started, I didn't really know what it was about until my mom told me that we have to start wearing masks and everything.
When the coronavirus first took effect here in the United States in March, when all the colleges closed, our program also had to not close completely, but we had to go to online learning. That was a huge challenge for our students. Most of them learn really well one-on-one, and with that mentor support, we were now going to online classes without that mentor support. So it was a stretch for our students to really grasp the content.
It was terrible. I felt like I was like miserable. Learning online was one of the hardest things that I could ever experience. Finally, I was just like, I am done with this. I cannot do this. There's nothing good about it.
So that was the first effect we saw. The other effect was then they all had to move back home. So they were no longer able to live in our housing opportunities, which is such a huge piece of the program, learning how to live independently and learning how to take care of your own needs within your home. Now they were back living with their parents, which is not a bad thing, but it definitely stifles their independence when they are not living on their own anymore. They don't get that opportunity to really grow and learn and try out all the things that we're teaching them in the classroom.
So this is like a shower / whatever. This is my favorite spray, only for men's cologne. It smells really like cologne. It's my favorite, okay?
Nice.
This was my drawer. I was on the top drawer. And then this part was my like washing stuff, for my hair and jazz like that.
As we were preparing for the fall, we were preparing our students also for being back on campus. Just like all the other colleges were preparing them, we were telling them about, having to get tested prior to coming back on campus. We were, telling them about what the new restrictions would be in our housing, what the restrictions would be in the classroom. And then just prior to school starting, Hope College made the decision to not allow guest programs on campus.
It was a week before we start school, so we had to change a lot of things 1 week before, which was really tough, and have parent support and student support and understanding.
So I received the email 12 days prior to school starting. And it came at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think I'll ever forget receiving that email. It was shocking. There had been no inclination that this was coming. There had been no communication from Hope that this was being considered. And obviously it stopped me in my tracks completely because we were having students move in 10 days. And so I needed to revamp our program in 10 days. My initial thought was shock and a little bit of disbelief. And then my next thought was just sadness for our students, of how I was going to inform them that the semester that they were looking forward to wasn't going to be, even more so, wasn't going to be what they thought it was going to be. It was already going to be different due to COVID, but this was going to take it to a new extreme.
Imagine yourself coming to school and expecting yourself to set foot, your own one of your feet onto campus, and all of a sudden I was like, seriously, why did I even come here in the first place? There's nothing really here for me to do except go to a program that's not on campus. I don't care who you are, what your life is. I'll be there for anybody in the whole entire world. Even if they're in jail, I'll be there for them.
That's awesome. That's such a good quality.
Because I have a purpose, and that's to be helping someone every day. If you hit me, it would be okay.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, it's kind of hard, but I can deal with it.
You can deal with it?
I am sports.
Yeah, you like intramural sports?
Yeah.
What's your favorite intramural sport?
Basketball.
Nice. Me too.
Oh.
We're up in Noggin. Huh?
I can't participate in intramural sports because of COVID.
I would love attending Hope classes and attending like PRISM events and just like meeting people.
When I heard that Ready for Life was not allowed on Hope's campus, I was shocked. Very shocked and almost embarrassed to say that I had graduated from that school. I got a degree in special ed from that school, and they push inclusion, yet they're going against their word on what they said. So that was tough.
Then I kind of went into the work mode of, okay, what can I do to make this as meaningful for our students as possible? How can I give them the best experience possible with the situation we're in? Within, I would say, 24 hours, I had emailed administration at Hope 3 times and then called trying to get a response back, and they did get back to me about 24 hours later to have a phone conversation. The phone conversation was very direct of, I'm really sorry, there's nothing we can do. No, you may not have your classroom space on campus. No, you may not have access to online classes. And so I, quickly said, okay, and we moved forward.
There was not a decision-making process to not invite Ready for Life back to campus. There was a decision process that looked at all the kind of auxiliary programs that we have, whether they be CASA, Upward Bound, some after-school programs, some joint degree programs, as well as Ready for Life, that we looked at all of those programs together and said, okay, if our commitment is to keep students here in person, that's our priority, then what makes the most sense in terms of all these other programs that are associated and affiliated with the college? The process was to look at those things, and then the decision was to say, we believe that we want to minimize anything that could happen that we would not control in a way which would give us the best chance to have every student here in person for the fall semester.
Even though you preach about inclusion and acceptance, why as soon as COVID hit, you were just willing to kick us to the curb and say, no, you're technically guests, you're not allowed on campus, and yet you're saying we're inclusive, we're accepting, we want everyone to be welcomed into our community, and yet, okay, well, now you're not, you're just excluding.
By that afternoon, we were touring places in Holland where we could hold class. We were already talking with Ferris State University about tapping into other online classes. Like, we just kind of went into the mode of, let's make this as the best we can. Let's, handle the circumstances and move forward.
I think what's regrettable was we kept thinking we would not be at the position we're in, and because of the lateness of the decision, I think that was hard for the program, that was hard for the students, and it was hard for the college. So I think that they were kind of upset, which we understood. We apologize for that. But it is not unlike what we had to do with athletics. It's the same kind of situation where 4 days before their report for fall camp, their season was canceled or postponed, right? And so I think even now we're trying to make decisions about next semester, and we're trying to do that in a way which respects time for you as students, as well as what may happen next. And that's that kind of dilemma we're in, always thinking and hoping and praying that we're going to make other decisions. And so we've never lived through this, so we didn't know that. So I think it was a hard decision to hear, but I think it was what we needed to do.
It definitely sends the wrong message. I think what they intended, we know what they intended. They told us, we want to focus on our degree-seeking students because of this pandemic. Okay, but their actions didn't really show that. Like I said, they kind of went about it the wrong way. The way that they told us just wasn't very professional, and there's definitely more professional ways to go about doing it. And they definitely could have made us feel a little more welcome and a little bit more part of campus had they communicated with us better. They definitely showed us that we are guests on campus and we will remain guests.
It was then my responsibility to inform families. I waited to inform families until I had a plan. I really believe in that. So if an employee resigns or something big changes in the program, I really want our students to feel safe and comfortable. So once we knew where our space was off of campus at the Holland Armory, once we knew what our class options were going to be, I scheduled Zoom calls with family groups and announced to the families. Those were hard calls. I don't think I've cried so much at work in my entire life because it was just heart-wrenching to hear the families' responses. It was interesting to hear the families' response of being very disappointed, but also very thankful for what we were offering. I was extremely impressed with our students, with their maturity through this. They were angry, they were disappointed, but they were resilient through it. They said, okay, what can we do? Well, their number one question I heard from the Ready for Life Academy students, as well as Hope College students who were upset when they heard the news, what can we do? What can we do? Who do we need to talk to? Who do I need to write a letter to? And that was the piece that was so amazing to hear. It wasn't, I'm mad, forget it, this is horrible, and just that, negative feelings. It was, how do we change it?
Can we take our masks off?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll take it off. And I'm Kate's mom, Mary Veldink, and we live in Holland, but we're from Jenison, Michigan. Kate had graduated, so we were pretty much done with RFL, but then we got the news. I think I've never seen you so upset, probably almost about anything.
Google survey and Instagram and Facebook.
We came up with the idea to do a survey and never thought that we would get the response that we got, but just thinking that we wanted to show the value of the RFL program to the Hope administrators and wanted to move forward from there. I mean, there's just pages and pages and pages, and I forgot the exact number. Do you remember?
Around 800.
Yeah, I know there's over 800 students responded within the matter of 3 days, just from our survey, talking about the impact that RFL had on them and how important inclusion and diversity was to them as students at Hope College, and just really wanted to see Hope change or just kind of look at that piece as they consider moving forward. So we were blown away. It's just testimony after testimony of how RFL has impacted Hope students.
Everyone should be given an opportunity to have an education. That should be a human right. We all need to grow and learn, and that takes education, and it takes having open opportunities to be in an education system that works for you. People need to make that decision for themselves once they get to a certain age of understanding what they're capable of.
I think it should be, nobody should decide for anyone else. I think it should be up to the person themselves or their family.
I don't think anyone should decide that. I think everyone should get an education.
Who decides who gets an education? And I think the question is, what is education? And I think that's really the important question in this. And so, you look at, for example, individuals who would like to do a different kind of vocational education. Should that be part of Hope College? Should they be looking at a very kind of specific education or training program? And so what does education mean? And I think that's the question, who has access to those things.
And I'm not saying that Hope decided whether these students could receive an education, because not allowing us on campus didn't stop them from getting an education. But I do think it made the students feel like they didn't matter and their voice doesn't matter, and that's not at all true.
Currently, I've met with President Scogin now 3 times, and we have started to kind of create a group of individuals who are coming together in order to start that process of creating a new memorandum of understanding between Ready for Life and Hope College. And what that memorandum of understanding will be leading toward the students to be enrolled students on campus. We will, from Ready for Life standpoint, we won't move forward to having our students back on campus unless it's leading in that direction. I want to safeguard our students, and we believe in belonging. And so if Hope can show us and create that memorandum of understanding that shows that we're leading toward belonging, we're all in.
I would like to see my students become students on campus. Just because they have a disability does not mean that they can't receive college credit. This Ferris math class that they're taking right now, they get college credit for. Even though we do live in houses off campus, it'd be kind of cool to see a couple of the students live in the dorm rooms and get that 100% feel for being a college student. Because some of my students are capable, I would say, of getting an associate's degree, for sure. So I think I would love to see Hope take the next step in allowing our students to get some credit, something for doing the work in their classes.
I think because we pressed pause, we really were able to kind of begin thinking about what should that relationship be, and we're not quite sure what that relationship will be. We've explored it with Emily and what they would like, and they'd like to have a memorandum of understanding between the college and the program. We know that Ferris has one of those. We know that Calvin has had one of those. I'm in conversation with the people at Calvin about what they're looking at and how they're proposing it. So I think the question is what does this program look like? I mean, should they be full Hope students? Should they be a guest student? Should they be accredited? Should it be a certificate program? Should it be what? And so part of it is really kind of trying to figure out what does all this mean for the college, what does this mean for the program, and how do you structure it in a way that not just has a year-to-year relationship, but has a longer vista and a longer way to work together.
I would love just get classroom on campus and be like more and be actual Hope student.
Yep, I know there's many other colleges like Calvin University and Ferris State University where the Ready for Life kids and students are students. And they're actual students of those colleges. And so we would love to see that happen. We would love to see the RFL classroom be on campus. We would love to see the RFL students have a Hope ID and not a guest ID. We would love to see the fact that they don't have to pay more to attend events like Fantasia, that they get the Hope College benefits that any Hope College student would get. So I think that's what we want. We want the RFL students to be included, in every aspect that they are able, and to be recognized. And I think the more diversity Hope College brings in, it's only going to strengthen Hope College. So I think there's a lot of exciting things that can happen, and we're very hopeful that they will happen, but the ball's in their court now. So we'll see how it turns out.
This was a wake-up call of, wow, maybe our students don't belong, but that's our #1 goal and our #1 mission. So how do we get them to belong? How do we move toward belonging? And that's the redemptive part of this story, is that now Hope College is on that track. They're saying, how do we get you to belong? What would it take to enroll the students? How do we get you back on campus? How do we find a place of belonging? So as much as it's hard to go through something so challenging and see students get hurt through that, to see the redemptiveness of it, to get to the point now where we're having conversations with the administration at Hope about what it would take to have the students be enrolled, what it would take to have the students live on campus. Those are amazing pieces that may not have come if we hadn't gone through something so hard. People with intellectual disabilities or with a disability of any kind are no longer going to sit in the shadows and let the world pass them by. They're going to say, oh, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change how the world looks at me. I'm going to prove to the world that I'm worthy because I am. And that's, I think, what I saw out of our students was just that resilience piece.
Hope College is amazing, but to take it to the next level, you have that opportunity right now. So I'm excited for them to walk the walk. They've talked the talk, and now let's put all of this into action and make some change.
This is a place for all students to come together and discover the beauty of our differences. And that's what's going to make this such a special place.